You are listening to the Atlanta Real Estate Forum radio show, all about real estate edition, shining a light on the movers and shakers in the real estate industry, the home builders, developers, realtors, and suppliers making it all happen. And now, here are today's hosts.
Good morning and welcome back to the All About Real Estate edition. I am your host, Todd Schnick, joined by my co-host and friend, Carol Morgan. Before we kick things off, we do want to thank New American Funding for being our 2020 show sponsor, now our 10th year on the air. It has been great having them as our friend and partner over this very interesting year. So, Carol, another great company on the show today. We've been featuring them here for many, many years. Always enjoy our conversations and what they're doing in this great community.
I'm very excited to welcome Kelly Stevens. She's a vice president and managing broker with Engel Völkers, North Fulton, and Buckhead, Atlanta. Actually, I'm sorry, Atlanta, North Fulton, and Buckhead, Atlanta. So welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, Kelly. Thanks for making time to join us. I know you're awfully busy, so appreciate you swinging by and joining us. Before we get into everything happening in Engel Völkers, take a few quick seconds. Tell us a bit about you and your background.
Thank you. I am a Georgia native. That's somewhat rare in the Atlanta market, right? But I was born and raised in Athens. Go Dogs. Have to get that in. And, have been selling real estate and brokering in Atlanta since 1998. And, both new homes and resale. So it's been a great run. And I'm now with Engel Völkers. Have been with them for 4 years now. And Shirley Gary's team is amazing. So just excited to work the dynamics of this crazy 2020 market.
Has been an interesting year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Holy cow. But you guys have had a great year at Engel Völkers. Tell us a little bit more about Engel Völkers and your markets. I know you have 2 different locations. Dive into that.
We do, yes. So we have a Buckhead location right on Peachtree. And then we have a location right next to Avalon in Alpharetta. And between those 2 locations, we really try to work the entire metro, because we also have a new homes division. Of course, that stretches all 14 counties, right? But we work it out of those 2 locations and find it just really efficient and convenient for most of the agents, being right off the 400 corridor.
Oh, yeah. And talk about 2 great places to live and work. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, wow, you could walk to all these different shops and all these different restaurants. You'd never wonder what to do on your lunch hour.
It's so tempting. And to have the walk-in traffic. The window shopping of the listings is just an added benefit.
Well, I'm most tired of the phrase new normal, but we're definitely in one now. As we're wrapping up 2020, take a second and talk to us about how COVID has impacted your business. The industry as a whole has done rather well.
I tell you, wow. I think all of us that were around from 2008 through the downturn, you feel like you can survive anything, right? But none of us knew what to do with this crazy COVID world. But we adapted quickly. I think real estate as a whole, we were, deemed essential by the governor, and that made a world of difference because we could continue to work and help people with their critical housing needs. And that was just a huge blessing. I think, I can't say enough about that. Had that not happened, our friends in other cities around the country didn't have that luxury. And we're just very fortunate. But we did try to stay safe as far as just protocols and making sure we had masks and gloves and sanitizer and, controlled how many people were in a home at one time, and just tried to do everything we could to keep it safe for people while they were really shopping. And we found that, people were still out shopping. And it took about, I would say 2 weeks to a month, maybe, for people to figure out how to survive in this, with kids now going to school remote, them working remote. How do I set up my new office? So it took a minute for everybody to just get their world in place. But after that, we saw that people were online more. They were shopping. They were like, okay, this house doesn't work for my lifestyle right now, so I need a new one as soon as possible. And, so it was just really fortunate. And our kind of new normal is true because there's so many efficiencies that we found that we don't plan to do away with. We will, as soon as possible, go back to in-person. We miss the in-person, that human interaction, the relationship that, is so critical to our business. But the efficiencies of meetings online and people not having to worry about the drive time in Atlanta traffic to get to an hour meeting is a 3-hour commitment. So, we've had more people join us for meetings. We've been able to bring in our colleagues around the country and around the world. The different divisions of Engel and Völkers from yachting and aviation have joined us for meetings. So those are things that we're like, this is such a blessing in disguise in all of this. And we'll continue that afterwards.
Well, it is interesting to find out that, you don't actually have to be in person to conduct all this business. I think so many people just thought that their staffs wouldn't be, professional or get things done at home. And I think everyone has proven that this works. So it's going to be, it is kind of the new normal, to use that phrase that Todd hates. Well, let's talk about sales some, because I don't know that any of us, having been through the last, big downturn, none of us in real estate really anticipated what was going to happen. So do you have any figures, or just kind of tell us what happened and what's going on now, and maybe predict what you see for the rest of the year?
When we first went to lockdown mid-March, Shirley reached out and she said, Kelly, I need you to run figures. I need you to run a report that if we lose 30% of our business, 50% of our business, 70% of our business, I need to know what that looks like. So we immediately started crunching data and trying to find out, okay, are we going to be able to retain staff? What do we need to do to adjust to live in this environment if it's 8 months, a year that we're just, no business? And fortunately, it didn't come to that. Again, we had so many blessings. We did see about a 20% dip for a little while. We saw that in resale and in new homes construction. But then that started trickling back up. So by June, this was mid-March, so it shifted pretty quickly. By June, we were having record months. We, as a younger company in Atlanta, had not passed the 100 closings a month threshold. And we did that in June, and we've continued to do that every month, knock on wood. And, we're even seeing that in October. So normally where you have a little bit of a slowdown in August once school goes back, we haven't seen that. It stayed strong. And of course, historically low interest rates have helped that. And I think people just figuring out, hey, I can work from home and I'm very efficient. And, what do I need to make my lifestyle happy and, peaceful? So the numbers have been pretty incredible. I think everybody's had record years. I know that some of the home builders kind of slowed down production in the beginning just because they didn't know what was going to happen and maybe didn't want to put as many spec homes on the ground. And now they're racing to catch up with that demand. And, but, I think Atlanta has definitely seen historically high sales volume through this. So we'll tell you that when we started tracking data, I started tracking weekly sales. So I wanted to know on a weekly basis, is this dropping? Are we having less contracts go binding? Or are we having more? And, there for a while in Atlanta in the FMLS, there were as many sales as new listings going on the market. So I'm like, wow, we're already in this tight inventory market that's low. And typically Atlanta housed in the FMLS for all listings, we would house about 30,000 listings a month. And now we're down to about 22,000. So it's definitely tightened on inventory. But over the last few weeks, I've seen about 1,000 more, listings than sales. So that does seem to be correcting a little bit, which is good news for buyers. And, so I think we're going to get back to a little more steady, normal pace. But it's been an amazing year.
No doubt about it. You just touched on it. And where I'm going to go next is that issue on inventory. I guess if there's one thing that's a challenge right now is the fact that we're seem to be low on inventory. What's your take on it?
It's definitely low. And in some, many of the markets in Atlanta, there's multiple offers. One of the things I coach on with the team is how do you handle multiple offers? There's an escalation clause that we use a lot of times to help buyers. You don't know when you're going in what those other offers look like. So the escalation clause really helps you be competitive. And then, what do you do about a backup offer? If it's taken and that's what you want, get in position, because a lot of times people are making very hasty decisions and they may go home that night and go, you know what, I probably acted a little quickly and that's not the house for us. So don't be scared of doing a backup offer. I will tell you that the hardest part in the market is all the cash buyers, because most of the normal buyers out there are going to need a mortgage. They are going to need to, have some help in financing that home. And they're really finding it hard to compete because the seller, if they have a cash buyer, They don't want the risk of a loan not coming through, or, many of the other balls in the air and the factors. So that's probably been the hardest part with the low inventory, is just the cash buyers really making it tough for the other buyers out there.
Yeah, but I love the cash buyer from
Yeah.
the perspective of selling the home,
Right.
no contingency, cash
It's a little
buyer, that's
struggle, little
phenomenal.
struggle.
But I guess if you're looking for a new home, that does make it awfully rough.
Ready to take the next step in becoming a homeowner? New American Funding can make it happen. New American Funding is a nationally recognized direct lender for residential home loans. Real estate agents and builders love New American Funding because of their in-house processing, 14 business day close guarantee, and the servicing of their loans. They will work tirelessly to help you achieve home ownership, backed by thousands of 5-star reviews from their customers and with convenient branch locations. More and more residents trust them to close their loans on time. Call New American Funding at 678-898-3540 to start your home buying journey today.
Well, talk to us a little bit about your iBuyer program. What is it and how does it work?
I have to tell you that the piece that I want to share with you, Shirley Gary is brilliant. And iBuyers have been around in a resale world for a while. And in Atlanta, many people may not know, there's actually 19 of them. And, we just saw quickly that we needed to help partner, because if people did want to move on to that other home they found and they needed a home office for their kids or for themselves and they didn't have it, that was a critical timing need. And maybe they couldn't have time to put their home on the market and wait for a traditional sale to play out. And this cash buyer could close, these iBuyers can close in 16 days.
Wow.
So we really invested in that program and have a portal where we can submit someone's home through this portal to all 19 buyers, which does include Zillow, Open Door, all the big guys, but it's just an aggregate program. And we have seen great success helping people move quickly through that. But then we took it to the next level with builders. And that has just been a brilliant thing. And we're in about 150 neighborhoods with builders right now as a third-party option for them. If someone comes in and they don't have their home on the market and they need to sell it in order to buy that builder home they just fell in love with, the builders aren't really taking contingencies right now. The inventory is low. They've got a lot of buyers. So if you fell in love with something and you need a home sale contingency, your chances of getting that is really slim. So our iBuyer Concierge program has worked for so many, and it's just one of those light bulb moments that went off for Shirley in a meeting.
That's cool. Another wave of the future.
It really is. It really is.
You were talking about builders. Talk a bit about how you do work with builders. What can they expect in terms of a collaboration with you?
What's great is Shirley, has 30 years of a background from being VP of sales in-house with builders, so forth, helping build in-house sales team for builders. I myself worked for builders on site for 14 years. So, we really get the builder side and what they need and how they want to operate. And we really try to be a partner with them from a sales resource. And we can help them from the very beginning stages of land planning and feasibility studies of, what do we need to build here? What's the market wanting? To, okay, we have a slow sales pace. Will y'all come in and help ramp up these sales and marketing efforts? That's one reason that Shirley bought into the Engel Völkers brand, is the global marketing option that they had to really, she was already running a successful business about sales with builders in the Atlanta market. And, having the Engel Völkers syndication globally and just that marketing ability is what really took it to the next level. And so having those two things married has really made a difference. And we're now representing around 11 or 12 builders throughout the Atlanta market and always looking for more. But we think we do a great job in just understanding, and having been there on the builder side makes a huge difference.
Well, I think something that you guys do well is partnering. And obviously, one of your partnerships is with our show sponsor, New American Funding.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you work with them and what you love about them.
Kelly Allison and her team at New American Funding are amazing for our builder clients, and what they offer and how they get deals through and are just creative And, basically during this COVID environment, they had some unique programs for people to be able to get in. And I just can't tell you enough. They're a resource. They answer their phone when that person is in the neighborhood and they're interested and they need to know, can I finance this? Does it make sense for me from a payment option? They can get them on the phone, get them engaged, and know that very quickly because the builder wants them pre-qualified, right? So New American Funding has just been a fabulous partner.
Well, New American Funding was great before the pandemic, but with how they've handled COVID-19, nailed it. They have been awesome. Hey,
you have to be willing to get out of the box, right? You
Yep.
have to be willing to say, we have to do things differently and we can't take weeks to make a decision. We have to be willing to be vulnerable and put things out there to try to help our client. And that takes a very bold leadership team to do that. Because most people want tried and true and they don't want to test things. But like I said, Kelly Allison she herself is brilliant and does a great job.
Agreed.
So we concur.
Right. Before we let you go, we've got a pretty good pulse on your 2020. Looking ahead to next year, anything we can look forward to?
More sales, right? Just conquering the world. We want every day to try to be innovative, to try to help, move the real estate industry through how the market is adapting. What does the consumer need? It's not about us. It's not about doing real estate the same old way. It's about finding new ways and adapting and making the consumer feel comfortable that they have the best listing advocate, that they have the best buyer advocate in the market, and that we have people who are really honed into their different pockets and spheres around the metro. As we know, Atlanta has so many various pockets that, you can't be that agent from the past that says, oh, I work all of Atlanta. You can't do that. You can't know it intimately like the buyers need. So just trying to really stay in the forefront and really help people understand they can count on us to be their true advisor.
Got it. All right. Well, Kelly, before we let you go, should anyone need to connect with you or learn more about Engel Völkers, where do they go?
We have great websites. And of course, you can reach out to us at our office number. But the websites are evrealestate.com. And you can find us there, buckheadatlanta.evrealestate.com or atlantanorthfulton.evrealestate.com. And I am kellystevens.evrealestate.com. So all of that, we just try to keep it simple and easy, but reach out. We're happy to answer any questions.
Kelly Stevens, Vice President and Managing Broker with Engel & Völkers, Buckhead, Atlanta, and I did the same thing, Carol, Atlanta, North Fulton. All right, Kelly, thanks again for stopping by and joining us.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Carol. Have a great day.
You as well. All right, well, that wraps this week's All About Real Estate edition. On behalf of our show sponsor, New American Funding, my co-host, Carol Morgan, I am Todd Schnick. It's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in and listening, and we look forward to seeing you again right here tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio is made possible by Denim Marketing, the publisher of Atlanta Real Estate Forum, Atlanta's favorite source for real estate and home building news. Denim Marketing is a comfortable fit, like your favorite pair of jeans. Denim Marketing tailors marketing strategies to meet your specific needs and niche. Try them on for size. They will work to create a perfect fit for your company's marketing program. Call them at 770-383-3360 or send an email to info@denimmarketing.com. For more information on Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio or to inquire about being a guest, contact info@atlantarealestateforum.com. Check out the radio show by visiting atlantarealestateforum.com or by listening to the show on your favorite podcast app. And if you enjoyed today's broadcast, we'd sure appreciate a rating and review on iTunes. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio.